Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Welcome to the Do You Recall podcast, a podcast that says the things back in the day got you through your day. And on today's podcast, it is a special podcast because it is the season to be jolly. It's the season of giving. It's my favorite season of the year. One, because my birthday is on December 24th, which is today. I'm amazed that you guys remembered. I don't know why I'm doing this voice, but I felt like I should. And tomorrow is Christmas, so I had to do a special Christmas themed Do You Recall moment. And this is going to take you back to the times when you were a kid growing up, especially in the 90s and the early 2000s. Having a birthday around Christmas, is hard for anybody, especially for that week. The December 20th all the way into the 28th or 29th of December is so bad because, as you suspect, everybody wants to give you your presents for both your Christmas presents and your birthday presents on the same day. And I went through a lot of that. Some of you guys would be able to, understand what I'm going through, especially a birthday around any kind of holiday. It just freaking sucks. It does suck. Like, I couldn't throw any type of holiday parties as far as parties for my birthday unless it's at the beginning of the month. And, you always want to celebrate, on at least the week of your birthday. And sometimes, that wasn't feasible because everybody was gone for the holidays. So that was, one of the downsides to having a birthday around the holidays, especially Christmas, since nobody's in school and it's just hard. But my family, meaning my mom and my dad, helped me a lot with, always making sure I have presents both on my birthday and on Christmas. And it's so funny is my mom gives me a gag gift every year for Christmas, right? And it became a thing because one year I really wanted a fucking yo-yo. Do y'all remember yo-yos? Do they even sell yo-yos? I mean, they still sell yo-yos. I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm pretty sure nobody knows how to use a damn yo-yo, like to walk the dogs and doing the triangle. I don't have a yo-yo with me right now, so I can't do it. Then show you guys my masterfulness when it comes to these yo-yos. But I actually wanted one real bad one year that lit up. Don't know why, just wanted one. And my mom gave me one. And every year since I was at least, I don't know, I had to be like 10. So now I'm 34. And every year my mom gets me a damn yo-yo. Like, it's like, damn, really? I already know it. And, like, at first it was cute, and now I'm just like, mama, this shit is old. But you know what? I'm going to miss it when it's gone. So I'm not going to, I value that. And that's something that I'm going to pass on to my kids down the road. It's like, they're going to get a damn yo-yo. Every Christmas, they're going to get a yo-yo. That's going to be one gift that my kids or my kid will get when I have some. So that's something I'm going to pass on down for generations to come. I hope that keep on going down. They're like, why we do that? Well, your great-great-grandma did it to your grandfather. It's just one of those things that I feel like it'd be a cool little tradition. Now, growing up, I really didn't have too many things that I wanted, like that other kids really wanted. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, there were, back in the day, you had like the Easy Bake Oven. You had like creepy crawler stuff. Pokemon was big back then, and getting those trading cards. There were so many different things, but the one damn toy that I wanted so bad that everybody out there pretty much wanted, the damn Power Ranger toy. More importantly, do you recall the Kung Fu Grip Power Ranger action figure toys from the 90s? It came out back in 1994, I want to say, or I can't remember exactly the year, but it was literally the Power Ranger line. It was the Power Rangers and had a button on the back, and either came with a Kung Fu Grip or a Kung Fu Kick. Like, that was the thing. And it had little hoisters that had the guns in them, and that's something I wanted so bad. More importantly, I wanted the Black Power Ranger, and it was really hard to find. I'm thinking, like, who wants the Black Power Ranger other than me? Obviously, other black people, because that's the one you related to the most. being black. So I really wanted that, and my mom could not find it. So I distinctly remember me and my mom going to different Toys R Us's and trying to find it. And one day we went to a Toys R Us, and my mom had to special order the toy from Indiana. So my mom went in there, like, had an order that was placed, and it came from Indiana because I already had the Red Ranger, and I think I had the Blue Ranger. I didn't have the Black Ranger. For some reason, they didn't have that many of them, and I just really wanted the Black Ranger too. And she went out her way to make sure it got shipped over here, and that's one of my fondest memories of my mom doing that for me. Was amazing. That was I guess I know what that's kind of my first taste on really being into, like, especially like pops and toys. I'm really into the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures, as you can kind of see behind me, and they're around my house too. But getting those imported and going through that was just a fun experience to have with my mom. I was so thankful that she did that for me. Mama, if you're listening or if you're watching, thank you very much. I very much appreciate that, because that meant a lot to me. Now, I still have, I think, one or two of them. My mom kept them. Like, I think my mom kept them, but they're all like scratched up and all that stuff. So they're not like really no revalue sale, because I was one of those kids that made sure that I played with them, and I had a whole scene around the living room. Remember those days? Do you recall when you actually made scenes with your freaking action figures and toys? Like, this is this land, and this person's invading from over here, and you have the toys, and they're doing all kind of different things. It didn't care what toy it was. It could have been from Double Dragon. It could have been any kind of toy, like from different areas, different cartoons, and they just mashed together for somehow. That was the first take of a Marvel universe or any kind of universe, because all my toys existed in the same universe to me. My G.I. Joes, my cars, my Double Dragons, my Power Rangers, everything was in that particular universe. And it was just such a great feel for me, a great thing to do. And I very much enjoyed it. So that's one of my do you recall moments. Do you recall the Power Ranger action figures with the Kung Fu grip, with that big ass button in the back? You just press the button and it would like kick and do all that stuff, man. Like, that was one of the toys growing up that I absolutely wanted to have. Oh my God. I gotta find that damn thing. Maybe I can fix it up. I know in the box on eBay they go for like $35. I think at the time they were like $12.95 or some shit like that. I don't remember exactly how much it was. I could ask my mama how much those damn was, but that's definitely a do you recall moment. Now, the best thing about the holidays are the holiday movies. It is the Christmas movies. I am the biggest fan of Christmas movies. Christmas movies that really moved you, made you laugh, or damn it was just so damn entertaining, you're like, I will watch that any time of the year. And growing up, there were particular movies I feel that I connected with on all kind of different levels. The first movie is a do you recall moment. Do you remember the Muppet Christmas Carol movie that came out in 1992? Based off the original Christmas Carol? I mean, come on. Anything with the Muppets in it, I'm for it. Like, anything, I love the damn Muppets. Like, when Disneyland had the whole Muppet thing still, I was like, that was like a guaranteed thing. I had to go watch the Muppets. It was the two old people on the balcony. They're freaking hilarious. You had Kermit, you had Miss Piggy, you had everybody just played a giant role in this movie. And I just love the fact it was fun. And one of my favorite shows growing up was the Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies was a cool show growing up. They went on all kind of different kind of adventures. And this was your first time you didn't see color. I mean, Miss Piggy, she was pink. You had Kermit that was green. So it looked like a mixed family. And that's what it was a bunch of mixed families. And the Christmas Carol movie was just a good movie to watch. I feel like you can still watch that with kids that, from nowadays, and they would enjoy it. I feel like they will find it funny. It was hilarious, even though it was puppets. I enjoyed it so much because I enjoyed Muppet Baby so much. So do you recall the Muppet Christmas Carol movie? Come on now. That was a freaking classic. Now, the next movie I'm going to talk about is something that kind of hit home to me, and another movie that hit home to me, and it was Miracle on 34th Street. More importantly, with the actors that played Matilda. Miracle on 34th Street, the redo of the original. It was such a great movie because this movie made sure that they defended Santa Claus. They defended Santa Claus. Like, this movie, you actually got a judge to exist. Santa Claus exists. And they proved it in a courtroom. And the cool thing about it was the moment in the movie that really got to me was, on the dollar bill. When she comes out and gives them dollar bill and it says, "In God we trust." And the judge in that moment is just having this moment because he isn't like, I don't want to rule against Santa Claus. Who wants to do that? Who wants to say Santa Claus is not real? You know what I mean? He needed something. And in this bill, it said, "In God we trust." And when you see on top of your money, it says, "In God we trust." And the funny thing is, he makes this whole big point. I won't go into the long drawn thing, what he says. But long story short, it was like, we're not here to argue if he exists, but the ideal of him, the idea of Santa Claus exists. And as long as it exists in young children, that's all we need. So let's make sure that this man doesn't go to jail for being Santa Claus and bringing just holiday joy to people. It was one of those movies where I just really felt like it was good. Like, I was a big person of Santa Claus. Like, what I'm saying? Obviously I'm older now and I'm like, okay, Santa Claus was mom and daddy. I'm sorry, little kids, if you're watching or you're listening, I apologize. Okay. Disclaimer. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. And it's so funny. A sidetrack is if I ever had one wish in the world, and this is going to sound so damn corny, but if I only had one wish in the world, my wish was to be Santa Claus. To be Santa Claus. Like, I want to be Santa Claus. Like, the funny thing is, like, he has powers. You don't have to watch what he eats. And literally, he works one day a year, like, hard. I mean, pretty sure throughout the course, he's making toys, helping the elves and all that stuff. But other than that, I just got to work for 24 hours. Like, that's it. Who doesn't mind that? And then he has a whole world that looks up to him. This is just great. Santa Claus is the greatest hero of them all. They should have made some type of Santa Claus character, like a Marvel Santa Claus character or DC. Really cool. It was a Mayfield movie, and it came out back in 1994. And Mayfield was really known for making great holiday movies through the course of the 90s. I feel like we had the best Christmas movies in the 90s. You can argue any movie you put up against it, and then when I name my next two movies, you're gonna be like, oh yeah. There is nothing, absolutely nothing out now that beats that. Like, you watch these classics, especially if you have Disney Plus. You're watching it right now. The next movie I want to bring out is my favorite, absolutely favorite holiday Christmas movie, and that is the entire Santa Claus franchise. The Santa Claus. Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3, starring your boy, Tim Allen. And I mean, at first, when I first saw the movie, I was like, it's Tim Allen. Like, that's Tool Time. You know what I mean? Like, he's funny, but Santa Claus, but it fucking worked. It worked. I love the concept with the Santa Claus, and he kind of like, I didn't like the fact that Santa Claus died and evaporated in the first movie. That kind of was weird to me. Like, looking at it for the first time, I was like, oh shit, that's kind of strange. Why is he doing that? Like, why has Santa Claus just disappeared? He fell off the roof. Don't he have powers? Don't he fly? So it made me questions when I was younger. I had questions. I had a lot of questions. But after that, we get to, the whole Santa Claus's village, and it's just an amazing workshop. I love the sassiness with the elves. I love that there was a head elf. I like that. Bernard. Remember Bernard, the head elf. And Tim Allen really just came to character with that when he started to transform into Santa Claus. The movie, it just spoke to me because, like I said, I've always wanted to be Santa Claus, and it was that was the movie. I'm like, I wish that would happen to me. I wish Santa Claus would just like, just that would happen to me. Now, the sad part is you never see movies, though, with Santa Claus going to apartment buildings. Like, how many movies do you actually see where Santa Claus goes to an apartment building? It's like, do you not like the apartment people. Like, you need to have a Santa Claus movie where Santa Claus is in an apartment building. Like, why not? Majority of kids live in apartments. Well, can we not have an apartment building Santa Claus movie? I'm just sorry. I just had to go on that for a second because I thought that was always a problem because, we don't got no chimneys. But Santa Claus, if you don't have a chimney, the chimney just exists. It just magically appears according to the Santa Claus movie. But Santa Claus 1, Santa Claus 2, and Santa Claus 3 were my favorite movies. Like, I have to watch them at least 2-3 times during the course of December. Like, I have to watch those movies because it's like so fun to me, so cool to me, and I really enjoyed them. And number 2 was great when he had to get married with Mrs. Claus. Maybe get hopeful about love. You're like, you can just find love, just and he be fall in love within like 3-4 days. And when it was long, it was shorter than that. And people just talking about going out on faith, and that's just pretty much what it was. 3, the escape clause, that was kind of cool. That was kind of interesting. But I just love the whole entire fucking franchise, and I can go on and on about it, but I'm not. Okay, but Santa Claus in 1994, when that came out, was the shit, and that is a do you recall moment. Do you recall the Santa Claus trilogy, all 3 movies, and how great they were? Lastly, the one movie that I always too have to watch, and the reason why I say this for last, because I feel like it is a do you recall moment. Most people do remember this movie, not as an entirety, but they do remember certain parts of it, or just like, oh, I remember hearing about that movie. For some reason, I feel like not everybody talks about it enough. Everybody wants to go on Home Alone. I'm like, Home Alone's a great movie. Don't get me. It's a great Christmas movie. It's a classic. It's in the top 10, top 5. It might be even number 1 in some people's categories, but it's not on my list. Okay, it's not on my list. I can't tell you why it's not on my list. Maybe I didn't think it was funny enough to be on my list, but it was funny. I don't know. But the last one I'm going to talk about is, do you recall the movie Jingle All the Way? Yeah, come on. Jingle All the Way. Maybe because it had my boy Sinbad in there. I would think Sinbad is so underrated. He is freaking hilarious, especially in movies, especially in TV shows. He is hilarious. Like, Sinbad made that character what it was. Like, two fathers, competing over this damn toy. Like, I gotta get this toy for my son. They go on all kind of shenanigans, and the shenanigans were realistic enough where, oh, I can see that happening. Like, I can really see that happening. And they just had great interactions with people. It was just a fun movie. Jingle All the Way was a hilarious movie. The funniest part of Jingle All the Way is Toy Store, and he noticed somebody with the doll, and he's just like, hey, give it to me. It was a Turbo Man. Turbo Man, that's what it was. So give me the Turbo Man, and nobody gets hurt. And he had this package, and he said, you know how many packages come through here that could be bombs? This is a bomb. And he said it was a bomb, and he was just pretending the whole time, And then, they go through a little chase, and then, he throws the package, and then literally explodes. And, oh, my God, that was a damn bomb that time. That shit was hilarious. That shit was hilarious. If you guys have never seen Jingle All the Way, trust me, it's how do I say it? It's not really, that movie does not have to be a Christmas movie. It could be like a birthday movie. You know what I mean? I guess it could, but Jingle All the Way is basically because it's around Christmas time. They're looking for this present. You can't find the present, and it's just about the madhouse of finding this one particular toy that every kid in the world wanted. And I mean, there's a lot of things like that. Like right now, everybody in the world wants a PS5. Like everybody, for some reason. I don't play video games. I don't have a console. I don't do none of that. But everybody wants a PS5. That's like a $600 game, a $600 system. And there's people reselling these things for damn near $1,200, and people are buying it. It's crazy, But I'm pretty sure there's other toys out there like kids really want to have, or there's clothes, certain like boots, like Uggs. Like people want Uggs, so you go to these stores and you can't find the fucking Uggs. If they're not your little girl size, your son's size, because they make Uggs for boys. It's hard to find. So, going down to a mall trying to get stuff, you trying to last minute shop, it's a freaking madhouse. And I think that movie really captured the madhouse effect of all that. So I really did love that. We had great TV Christmas specials. Great TV Christmas specials. And I'm going to mention a couple of my favorite TV series Christmas special. And the first one has to be The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Oh my God, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air Christmas special, where the Fresh Prince, Mr. Will, he and Ashley go down to, to get the decorations for the house, and they're like these weird exotic decorations. And the funny way how he makes fun of the guy, because the guy's like, I was very into this. It's gonna be very hip, very new, very now, very like, talking like one of those, Beverly Hills curators at one of those fancy ass clothing stores. Like, may I help you? Yes. Like, it's very happening. It's gonna be very, very good. And Will Smith makes fun of him, and he's just like, everything. We're gonna do our own stuff with like little rambunctious reindeers and all these bright colors. It's gonna be very, very dope. And, and it's just a funny thing. They redecorate the whole entire house, and then the community gets together because they're like, oh my God, you do all these lights and stuff like that, and it kind of looks tacky in Beverly Hills, or where, out there. And it's like, well, this is what we did because Ashley, she wanted to, do this because she was losing sight of Christmas. She was losing sight of Christmas. And then they finally all got together, and they were like, you know what, it's fine. And they had like a cool Christmas spirit thing. It's a funny episode. You just gotta watch it. It's the Fresh Prince Christmas episode, and I think it was one of the better ones out there on television. So, moving on. The next one, not only did it mean something to me then, it currently means a lot to me now. And that is the Boy Meets World, a very Topanga Christmas special. Well, it's not a special. It was an episode. I think it was on season 5, episode 11 or something like that. So season 5 of Boy Meets World. Everybody knows Boy Meets World. If you know me, you know I love that damn show. Boy Meets World is one of my favorite shows of all time. And on this particular Christmas episode, Topanga comes to the Matthew house and has Christmas with them for the first time. And she's never been there for Christmas, but the whole thing is both their, traditions of Christmas clashes. Like, she drinks cider, they drink eggnog, and they want a plastic tree. She wants a real tree. Babe, does this remind you of anything? If you're listening. But, and it was just like they had a difference in, their culture, not cultures, but what they did for Christmas. And who doesn't have that when you enter into a relationship? There's so many different things within the relationship when it comes to holidays that families either do the same or do differently, and it's just about working together. And in this episode, Topanga actually kind of like takes over Christmas at the Matthew house, and it's kind of scares Corey. He's like, is she gonna take over everything? And then he feels like he doesn't really know Topanga that well. Like, I'm just finding out these things, and we've been together for how long? We've been friends for how long? And they're still getting to know each other even in the course of this whole entire interaction. But it comes down to compromise. And the thing was, if they learned this, yes, we're opposites, and that's good that we're opposite because we can mesh traditions and make our own traditions. It's like the old Bruce Lee saying, use what is useful, discard what is useless, and then make it your own. It's like, so compromise and combine traditions. Do what you want to do when it comes to that. Just because you guys have differences don't mean you guys can't work together. Some of the people that have the greatest differences work well together, and it just works. Yin without the yang. That's how you have that typical symbol, So that was a very important thing about tradition and Christmas that I really did enjoy, and something I wanted back then watching the episode as a person who I'm with and who I love and who I care about. I wanted traditions. I wanted to start traditions with the person I'm with. And, currently I feel like I'm in that situation where I'm doing that right now. We're compromising on traditions. And on top of that, we are learning things about each other around these holidays. That's great. You know what I mean? And it is very important for me because it's my birthday and it's Christmas. So there's all kind of different things. And since I don't really have too many traditions, it's not like super crazy, you know what I mean? But what I want, but it's cool. But definitely, guys, that was a cool thing just to learn something about relationships, traditions, and Christmas. Just the whole spirit of it is one of those things. And it does like a lot of TV series and a lot of movies where they reference like, oh, this is the ghost of Christmas future or the ghost of Christmas past, because Mr. Feeney, Corey Matthew falls asleep, and Mr. Feeney comes in his dream as, the ghost of Christmas future and shows him his future. And then we've seen this in other TV series. He's like, Family Matters has done it before. Other TV shows have done it. But I really did enjoy this episode because I feel like I learned a lot about relationships in the episode. I learned a lot about relationships growing up watching 90s movies and 90s TV shows. Like I did. Like you could learn from these people. Like I know that sounds so damn stupid, but do you recall the Very Topanga Christmas from the Boys Meets World TV show? And the last thing that I want to talk about today on the Do You Recall podcast, for me, is not like the biggest Do You Recall moment, but I think because of the season, I have to talk about it. Do you recall when you went to school and your mom was packing your lunch, or not even just packing your lunch, when you got home, you got to get your treat, your little dessert from the pantry, wherever it was? Do you recall? Look at this. If you can see it on the camera, do you recall the Little Debbie's Christmas tree cakes? Come on now. Do you remember these things? Do you recall the Christmas tree cakes? They were white with sprinkles on them, and they were just these cakes, man, that you used to get from Little Debbie's. Little Debbie's is responsible for diabetes around the world. I swear to God, they are. But do you recall these Little Debbie freaking Christmas cakes? I used to love these things. I would get one or two of them and have them a day. Only 5 came in the damn box. Don't know why only 5 came in the box, but 5 came in the box. And this is literally the only Little Debbie thing I eat. Around Christmas time, I had to have one of these at least every day. Like, I had to have one of these, and I very much enjoyed my damn Little Debbie's Christmas tree cakes. I just had to say that because I thought it was great. I'm going to open this thing up right now and take a bite. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for showing up to the YouTube page. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Once again, guys, this has been the Do You Recall podcast, a podcast that says the things back in the day got you through the day. I hope you guys have a very, very Merry Christmas to all you guys out there. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Feliz Navidad. This has been CJ. I'm the host with the most. I'm on my Little Debbie's Christmas tree cake, and I'm out. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.